Well, didn't expect to make this video so soon, let alone at all, to be honest. It is currently almost 10 p.m. on Friday, December 20th. Family just got into town for the holidays, just got my kid to bed, and I honestly had no plans to make content due to the holidays and stuff like that, but feel like I needed to, because in my last video, I talked about the controversy surrounding Finn McKenty quitting YouTube and a lot of the things that he said in his interview with JESSEA and how people feel about it. And there were a lot of people in the comments there that seemed to have issues with me not having issues, and people saying that they need a follow-up to this where I talk about what was said in the interview because it was clear that I didn't watch it. Well, the truth is I did watch it. I don't know, man. I don't know if I just assumed that people would take things the same way I did or whatever, but I actually felt like, sure, I owe it to you guys. I'll give you that follow-up. This is not me trying to defend myself. Like, I don't take back anything I said in that last video. I do just want to kind of go over what people were asking me to do and address the actual things he said. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the crazy thing is, in the case of Finn and him, quitting YouTube and the things that he said, this isn't really a bombshell revelation for people that have, paid attention past just watching one or two of his videos. He's openly said many times that he's just doing these documentary style videos on bands that he knows will gather views and ad revenue, running this like a business. He has said that he gathers a lot of his information just from reading off of Wikipedia. And oftentimes, he doesn't really care about any of these bands that he's talking about. And a lot of people have issues with that. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I would like to remind everybody that this guy has been in product design and marketing for years. So all of the people out there that are saying he just burned all of his bridges and he failed at setting out to do what he was trying to do on YouTube don't really understand. He did exactly what he was trying to do on YouTube. He built a product, and that product was a YouTube channel with videos that you guys, and myself included, watched and enjoyed. Sure, maybe he didn't actually enjoy a lot of the bands that he was covering, but from a business sense, he did set out to do exactly what he did. And he finally got to a place where he was financially comfortable that he just didn't want to do this anymore. But listen, after reading a lot of the comments on my last video, I totally understand there are a lot of you that feel upset. You guys have told me you feel betrayed and lied to because you found a guy on YouTube and thought, hey, here's a guy that likes the same stuff I do and enjoys the same bands I do, only to find out he really didn't. I get that. So to those of you that have said these things in comments, I just want to say that I hear you and I understand, even if I don't feel the same way. The truth is, I've been watching Finn's videos since way longer than I've had a YouTube channel. We actually used to watch his videos on tour, on the bus after shows, backstage, killing time. And yeah, of course, he's got hot takes from time to time. And a lot of people don't like his sarcasm and his snarkiness and stuff like that. And he's probably engaged with a lot of people negatively in the comments when he probably shouldn't have. And maybe it's caused him some problems in the long run. But at least to me, nothing of what he did and what he admitted to makes him a bad person. And I got to be honest, I just don't care about it in the sense of like what he did. It doesn't bother me, mainly because what somebody else decides to do doesn't affect my life in any way. But as we already said in the beginning, it's really been no secret to anybody that followed his channel and paid attention. And I mean, he's been open about running this as a business for a very long time. But let's go. Like I said, what we're going to do with this video, I'm going to go quote by quote that people brought up, like the major quotes from this interview with JESSEA, and just give you my take on it. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. Truth is, your mind is probably already made up because you watched it yourself and you already have an opinion on Finn, but maybe I can just give a different perspective on it, and that's it. So let's go.
Anybody would tell you that I was good at my job, but nobody knew who I was and nobody cared, because it's just one of these things. If you're like, oh, you worked on a bunch of big brands, cool. I just found myself like, people just didn't care about me. Like I couldn't, when I applied for jobs, I kind of never really got anywhere with it. My professional network was not good. It just sort of, when my name came up, it just didn't really mean anything. Opportunity tends to go to people who are visible, not necessarily people who are like best at their job, right? It's like if you're the first person that somebody thinks of for what you do, you're probably going to get more opportunities than someone who might be just as good at it or better than you, but nobody thinks of them. So I said, I need to change this. So that's sort of what led me to do YouTube.
So if you take that at face value, it sounds like Finn started a YouTube channel as a marketing project to grow his own brand and name to further his product design and marketing career. And I saw some comments where people were saying that that's not real and it's inauthentic and stuff like that. But is it? Just as an example, let's take Drumeo. Drumeo is absolutely crushing it on YouTube now with their videos. We're having drummers come in and do different kinds of content with them. And not only just in the musician community or the drummer community, but they've opened their market up to just fans of music, and they're entertaining a lot of people. But at least for me, it seems very clear that their YouTube is a way to promote their product, which are the Drumeo courses that you can pay for online. Another example would be the hundreds, if not thousands, of guitar-based content creators out there that are doing guitar videos. And then they're trying to sell their guitar instructional videos and courses online. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that they don't love making their content or enjoy doing it, as opposed to Finn, who said he just didn't enjoy doing it. But to say that those content creators are only making content because they love doing it is a pretty inaccurate statement. There's something else going on there. And while this wasn't intentional, I'll use myself as an example of how that can work. Like, again, I did not start this channel to like grow my name or build my brand, because at the time I found out I was having a kid and I was planning on not touring full time anymore anyways. But since I've started this channel, I've had more job opportunities and job offers in the touring world than I've ever had since before starting YouTube, just because my name and my story and my background were out there for people to see it. So to me, Finn wanting to start a YouTube channel to promote his brand and his name as a marketing strategy checks out and makes sense. And from a business standpoint, I feel like it's a pretty smart thing to do.
I'm just here to give the people what they want.
Again, a lot of people thought that that's inauthentic, that you're only giving the people what they want. But again, for anybody that was paying attention, he's never hid that. Like, he literally said he was just making the content that he knew people would watch.
I don't have any plans to do anything on YouTube. I've sort of considered maybe doing like a maybe doing a channel sort of about entrepreneurship, maybe. But I don't know, because I have a feeling that a lot of people who know me for the music stuff would show up and be idiots, you know, and people on Reddit and Twitter would probably, you know, want to tear me down. So probably I won't.
I totally get his concern with that one, because people on the internet can absolutely be brutal and just not let things go and go after you. And I say that from experience. I mean, it actually does happen to me. Like, even just recently, I've been on Instagram accounts on like metal news sites and comment something, and just because it's me, somebody will show up and be like, you suck. Or they'll try and go after, you know, the bands I've worked for, or even just attack me for the fact that I'm working for a lame band right now. And it's like, I don't really care about that. Like, it's not my band. I'm working for them. Yeah, I'm a little bit emotionally invested for sure. But it's like, I don't know, just like people on the internet, when they see you, if they already don't like you, they'll just go to any lengths just to make you feel bad because they feel good, maybe. So I get Finn's concern that he might not want to have another channel, even not related to music, because people that already don't like him will just show up and shit all over that.
Is that why you stopped? Like, is that why you started making videos, just because of all the negativity?
No, it's because like I don't really have any interest in music, so I was just doing it for the money, and I hit my financial goals, and so there's really just no reason for me. Like, I don't have to keep doing it. So I'm not going to spend a bunch of, I'm not, you know, our time on this earth is limited. Like, don't spend it doing shit you don't have to do if you don't want to, you know? It's like, I made enough money from this. I don't have to keep making videos about System of a Down. So I'm going to stop.
Man, so you really didn't enjoy it at all? There's just like no part of you that was like, oh, I'm excited to talk about this band today or anything like that. It was always just completely transactional for you?
Yeah, I don't have any interest in music at all.
So I too found this hard to believe. And I said this in my original video. Like, I do find it hard to believe that he has no interest in music whatsoever. And, you know, he clearly has a knowledge base in a certain scene that goes beyond what you can just read on Wikipedia. Now, in his current situation, I don't know if it's just burnout, or he had interest and lost interest, or he was covering bands that he had no interest in because he knew it would get the views, or he has interest in other genres of music, just not what he was covering. I really don't know. The only thing that I have to go off of is, like I told you before, like I wouldn't consider me and Finn like super close friends or anything, but I would say we're friends. And after that interview, I texted him and I was like, I find it hard to believe you have no interest in music. And he said, no interest is an exaggeration, but basically none at all. It's just not interesting to me. So that's really all I have to go off of too.
I can't. You want me to care about this shit from bands that peaked 2 goddamn decades ago? Like Linkin Park was fucking washed up in 2004.
So many people had an issue with him saying that. And I gotta be honest, man, I think that's a truthful statement that nobody wants to hear. Like, nostalgia sells. Like, it just absolutely does. And I feel like the reason that people do get like very, upset about statements like this is because and I say we because I'm included, we get emotionally connected to the bands we like or the things that we like. And when somebody says something bad about those things, we feel personally attacked. And again, this has happened to me. Like, there are bands that I absolutely love. And when I hear somebody say something about those bands, like, oh, they suck or whatever, or something, there might be a split second where I get like angry and I'm like, oh, I can't believe they said that because I feel like they're attacking me. But as I've gotten older, I've just learned to just not care. Like, I've told you guys a million times on this channel, like, enjoy the things that you like with no reservation about it. Like, fuck everyone else. If you like this band, listen to that band and be proud of it. And especially because, like, who really gives a shit about the opinion of somebody else online talking bad about a band that you like, Like, some dude on the internet is not affecting my life by saying that he doesn't like a band I like.
It's it's just something for people to talk about. It's just conversation fodder. It's news,
It's just
everyone
because
needs to
these
grab.
Smooth-brained, low vibration people just want some negativity to fucking blurt out their dumb fucking opinions about.
So this, to me, is the most taken out of context thing he said in this entire interview. And it was the thing that was brought up the most by people in the comments when they were trying to argue with me and say, no, it's not the money thing we're upset about. It's the fact that he insulted his entire viewer base and called everybody smooth-brained. No, he absolutely did not. When this first came out of his mouth, I didn't even think twice about it. I was a little surprised by his choice of words and being harsh, but I thought it was very clear that he was talking about the people that go online looking for negativity as a reason to rage about things that they probably don't even really care about. And to be fair, there is a lot of that going around. I think this whole situation with him kind of proves that point. As of recording this video, I've seen exactly 2 content creators that have put out pieces about Finn that have been very well spoken, had good points, and didn't come from a place that was emotionally driven. Every other video that I've seen, which is dozens of them at this point, are people that just had an emotional gut reaction and went absolutely apeshit and went after Finn in any way that they could. So if you want to be mad about his choice of wording or what he said, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not judging you for that. But to say that he called all of his viewers that have watched his YouTube content smooth-brained is, to me, absolutely not true and completely taken out of context.
I know in the rock world, like literally the fucking only thing they care about is live events, like live ticket sales. That is the only thing rock people care about. The end. Yeah. Like nothing, everything else is bullshit to them other than live ticket sales, which I think is incredibly fucking stupid, but that's how they think.
There's almost nothing inaccurate about that statement to me. And I say almost nothing because I do know tons of bands that have done a great job at marketing themselves and making a profit and doing very well in their career outside of selling tickets to shows. But for the most part, yeah, rock and metal puts so much energy and value into the ticket sales that they forget about all of the other parts of their business.
I mean, for me, I sure wouldn't want my business to depend on having to travel 200 days a year.
Right.
Because that's not sustainable. That's a good way to fucking wreck your mental and physical health and relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't do that. I mean, even people like, say, corporate execs that travel that much a year, like it's fucking, and they're doing it, you know, they're flying, they're getting hotels and stuff. It still fucking destroys you.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not sustainable. So, I mean, I certainly, you know, like if you can't make money, if you're getting millions of eyeballs on your shit and you can't turn that into money, like you suck, you know, like if the only way you can think of to monetize that is to fucking go get people to show up to a venue, like that's just, you suck.
I think this is another thing that's being taken way out of context, or maybe there's a disconnect from some viewers from like music business and stuff. But like the dude who's a marketing guy, who's been telling you he's a marketing guy, who started a YouTube channel to market himself, is clearly talking about bands that aren't marketing themselves well. When he said, if you have millions of eyes on your shit and you can't find a way to turn that into money, you suck. He's clearly talking about the business practice of a specific band. And you may not want to hear it, but at least from my perspective in the industry, he's not wrong. There are tons of bands out there that are awesome musicians, that are awesome at making music and make great music, that have millions of people that listen to their stuff, but they're struggling and they're not making as much as they could because they have very poor business sense. This is why it is so important for bands to surround themselves with the right people in this industry. Talking managers, record labels, marketing teams, PR. And I'm not saying you need a manager or a record label or something to succeed, but if you or somebody in your band is not good at these things, it is imperative to find the right people to help you succeed as a business, because whether anybody wants to admit it or not, music is a business. Yes, there are musicians out there that just love playing music for people and touring, whether they're broke or not. I mean, I did it myself for years until I just couldn't handle it anymore. But people have bills, families, obligations. If you want to make a full-time career in music as a musician, you need to be running it like a business. And I honestly believe that anybody else in the music industry would tell you the same thing.
How could you not
like
do
they should
that?
be monetizing through like products and stuff like that?
I don't care. Whatever. They can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. I'm not going to tell musicians are a lost cause. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. But let's put it this way. I know lots of people on LinkedIn with less than 10,000 followers that are making way more money than anybody in any band.
So people have been really bringing up this musicians are a lost cause quote by Finn, like he was insulting and shitting on every band and musician on the planet. And I do feel like it's a broad generalization, and it's a little unfair because I know bands both big and small that are excellent at marketing and they are making a living off of their music. But I do know a lot more bands that are struggling. And to be honest, I mean, I get what he's saying with that statement, even though I do think, again, it is a broad generalization, but I get it. I am having a hard time trying to articulate the right way to explain this, especially in a way that maybe somebody that likes music but hasn't been a musician can understand. I don't mean to sound demeaning. It's just like, as a musician, it's kind of hard to describe. Like, I guess it's just because musicians are dreamers. Like, I say this from personal experience. Like, musicians will sacrifice other things like relationships, friends, family, maybe other jobs that'll pay more because they want to make this dream a reality. And sometimes they just don't have like the business sense. Going back to what we were talking about, not every band is going to make it. Some of these musicians just don't have the realistic business sense that you need to turn your music into a career. So again, a little unfair to say, and maybe he could have used better wording because it does sound like he's coming from a very jaded place, like he's over it with other musicians, and maybe I could have explained it better, but long story short, like I get what he was saying and I don't think it's that bad. But that pretty much wraps it up for some of the like controversial stuff he said in that interview. Like the second half of it was pretty much just him talking about moving back to his marketing stuff and like explaining some marketing tips for content creators and bands and stuff like that. But you know, from reading the comments from you guys, a lot of people also took issue with how he left YouTube. Now, Finn actually left YouTube a few months back. He did a soft exit. He just stopped posting. And it seemed like that's the way he wanted to go out. But so many people were like messaging him and asking him and commenting on stuff. You're like, where'd you go? That I don't exactly know why he took this interview with Jesse Lee. But I feel as though he wanted to, because he was being asked so many questions, he just wanted to do something to get it out there. Again, there are times where I thought he could have done some better wording on things, but overall, like, I just don't see a problem with a lot of the things that were said. And I've just honestly got to believe that some people, like, we joke about this all the time as content creators. People hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter, dude. I've seen it in my videos where I've tried to explain things and people hear something that I did not say, or they take something a certain way. And that just happens. And I think that's happened a lot in this situation. And honestly, for the people that have been saying like, he burned a bunch of bridges and he like ruined any chance of a YouTube career in the future that he's got and stuff like that, I don't even think he wants it. Like, some people have said he's probably just doing this to troll and he's going to come back in a year and start posting again. I don't think that's going to happen. And honestly, I think Nick Nocturnal actually said it best.
But I think he did really want to burn that bridge. I think he wanted to say, hey, all of you guys, you've treated me like shit forever. I am going to say what I want to say. I want to mentally never have to be in a space with music again because you guys ruined it for me.
So there we go. Again, I just wanted to make this video because I legitimately felt like I owed it to you guys after everybody said that they needed a follow-up and me to elaborate more on a lot of this stuff. I wasn't aiming to change anybody's mind. Again, a lot of people already have their minds made up from previous experiences with Finn and stuff like that. I just hope that maybe this can give you a different perspective. I don't know, maybe if you look at me as the perspective of a content creator or somebody in the music industry, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to provide a different perspective on the interview. So to those of you that actually took the time to make it to this point, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it a ton. If you want to follow me on social media, my handle is @TankTheTech on just about everything. But until next time, wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I will see you very soon.